Urban exploration is a pretty huge thing now. Everybody wants to get their hiking boots on and break into some old rusty doorways. But contrary to popular depiction, this niche doesn't always go hand in hand with paranormal footage. A lot of explorers are simply going in to see what pieces of history they can feast their eyes on. At least that is what this guy was doing when he walked into an abandoned laundromat inside a hospital. But his historic tour was made 10 times more terrifying when he watched the footage back once he got home and realised he might not have been the only one there.
Lo último. Esto es una especie de baños. Mira, acá hay ¿qué es la cámara séptica esta, no?
Esa es la cámara séptica, sí.
Sí.
Ten cuidado no caerte ahí.
No.
Porque seguramente esa tiene que tener trozo.
Sí.
Did you see that? For a split second on the left-hand doorway, you can just about see the hands and head of a dark figure slipping back behind the wall. Obviously it wasn't immediately spotted, so the guy had no idea who or what he was sharing that space with. The weirdest thing about it is that the scary moment is not advertised at all in the description and barely any commenters seem to pick up on it. If you were going to fake a creepy video in an abandoned building, surely you wouldn't just throw in the scary moment as a blink or you'll miss it Easter egg, right? What do you think happened here?
Esto es una especie de baños.
This dude pulled off an exploration not many of us could, and we aren't blaming him for nothing, because now we all know that there is something odd lurking in the basement at Denver State Hospital. Keep your eyes peeled, or you might miss it. Did you catch it? The video, though creepy with its old ass camera quality and that strange buzz going on in the background, does have a golden moment to witness from it. It's basically a walk through the dimly lit basement of the hospital, seemingly with nothing strange happening. As if you didn't see it, as the person recording turns the camera while walking away from the room. A shadow person can be seen walking further off into the dimly lit room. But the person taking the video seems to have missed this instant and carries on making their video. It's moments like this that sends shivers down your spine, proof that something could be lurking just beyond what we can see. A shadow figure strolling casually through the basement of Denver State Hospital. If that doesn't make your skin crawl, what will?
When this guy took out his phone to film this fountain, he thought he was just getting a nice clip to send back to his family, but he never expected to get the spook of his life when he noticed something else was lurking beneath the water.
Estoy aquí en toda la entrada de la fuente. Aquí al ladito.
The video itself is extremely blurry and short, so we can't properly see what happened there, but it looks like a girl with long hair popped her head up and promptly vanished afterwards. Even if this was a fake head popped up for a laugh, where did that fake head disappear to afterwards? Any idea?
This little girl was reaching for that much needed cup of mid-play juice, but she didn't even get time to enjoy it before she realised that playtime was only just starting. As we know, getting kids to cooperate with you well enough to make a convincing video, in general, is difficult. let alone getting them to pretend they're really scared. Even the snowflakes, who are already scared of their own shadow. You could say that it was one of her parents pulling a harsh prank. But think about it. She was stood directly in front of a sharp corner, and when she was dragged backwards, there was no regard for her head. If it were her parents, surely they would be more careful with how they handled her. So what was it that grabbed that poor girl?
Here's one to give you goose pimples. TikToker the_bonehead uploaded this video from someone explaining they got a cute little camera for her daughter as a Christmas present. The little girl wouldn't stop taking pictures with it, but after some time, she tells her mum about something that keeps appearing in her photos, even though they're the only ones in the house. So she decided to check out the pictures her daughter wouldn't shut up about. And that's when she found every mother's worst nightmare. Take a look.
We're just hanging out at home today by ourselves. My husband's at work. She's been telling us she's been seeing somebody in her room, that she can't really sleep well. She refuses to sleep in there. We just moved to this house. I never set the date or time on this camera because it was just like a little play camera, so she would quit taking her phones and taking pictures of herself because she's at that age right now. So we just like never set the time. So she just took a picture and she says, "Mommy, look, there's a man in the photo." I said, "What?" She said, "There's a man in my photo." And I went like that real quick. Like, this just happened just like 5 minutes ago. Like, no one else is here. It's just us. Like, I'm gonna have to change the date and time so I can get more pictures for y'all, but look at that.
She explained that the picture was only taken 5 minutes before she made a video about it, and confirmed that she and her daughter were the only ones at home, which makes it all the more creepy. Do you think the camera caught an entity from the other side? And since they don't have any history of weird happenings around the house, should they really be worried about the man in the picture? Leave your comments down below.
On the afternoon of September 8th, 2025, terror gripped an unassuming home-run nursery and refused to let go. While looking after some kids, the owner sprung into action when she heard that the children were freaking out over something in the other room. She desperately tried to figure out what had terrified them so badly, but she couldn't find anything. That was until she checked the cameras. You might think that the playhouse falling over is the scariest thing about this video, and while it is petrifying, look at the top of the doorway that the little boy ran through. What looks to be a pair of shadowy hands grip onto the top of the doorframe and slip back above it, going unnoticed by everyone. Could those hands be a hint as to what scared the little boy so badly? The owner's daughter posted the video to her TikTok page, Pookie the Queen, and was met with a barrage of comments asking for a look into that room. So she got out her camera and started a tour of the nursery area, which is when she realised where the problem stemmed from.
Firstly, we have the house, and obviously you guys saw that it fell, but the other thing I wanted to point out was that it's pretty hefty, so it really doesn't make any sense that it would just fall on its own like that. So that's just something I wanted to point out. And this is the room. The crazy thing about this is that there was like markings at the top of the entranceway of like the doorway, and I guess in the video you can see hands gripping onto the doorway. I don't really know what to make of that. I thought at first that it was like bugs or something like that, but it looked almost like two hands like gripping on the top, like leading into this room, just like. But the main thing, and the reason that the little boy was screaming, is actually in here. We have this covered up for a reason. Apparently, the little boy told my mom that he saw a face in these mirrors.
So the playhouse was hefty and borderline impossible to knock over without some real force. And there's a creepy dressing table with a mirror left in the playroom. No wonder the boy was screaming. The owner and her daughter were trying their best to logically explain the situation, saying that the little boy didn't actually see a face in the mirror. He most likely saw the reflection of a toy that freaked him out, and that the hands were some kind of bug or camera glitch, but they both knew that the real answer was something much more sinister. A few days later, on the 17th of September, the owner's daughter was checking over the security cameras when she realized that the activity was starting to become more frequent. She noticed this happening on the security cameras one night, so she went over to investigate, hoping she would be able to blame some kind of breeze or unbalanced weight. But instead, she was met with this.
Do it again. Yeah, okay. Do it again. I'll wait. Do it again. Open the gate.
Right at the end of the clip, something moves underneath the purple bedsheet, and when she stands up before she leaves the room, you can see what looks like fingerprints pressing into it. At this point, everyone involved had accepted that something was very wrong in that mirror. A lot of people in the paranormal community believe mirrors to be portals. This idea has threaded itself back into the mainstream as well due to the new film in the Conjuring franchise. So after seeing all this take place, the nursery owner and her daughter decided they had to take action and get rid of that mirror by selling it to some poor, oblivious buyer online. They say they are leaving it alone and shut it in the room where nobody can see or interact with it until the buyer shows up to collect the thing. But shutting the door wasn't enough to keep the horror from infiltrating their lives further. Out of curiosity, they decided to leave one walkie-talkie inside the locked room and keep the other one with them. As you can imagine, she heard something that made her blood run cold. She kept hold of it for a little while longer, and it made an even weirder noise.
You guys heard that, right? That was this. Oh my god. I am not. Wow. I swear to God. Now it's not gonna do it again, but.
Can you explain the clicking noise that only happened inside the room? This video is the latest update as of now, so keep up to date on her TikTok page to see what happens when the buyer ends up coming to get the dressing table and the mirror. But for now, what do you think happened here? Leave your theories in the comments.
Living in the woods seems like a beautifully petrifying combination, which is why this guy wasn't fussed when he noticed some movement on the security cameras at his dad's property. Being so isolated, you need a bit more protection than normal, so these cameras begin recording once they sense any kind of movement. This guy expected it to be something like a lost animal, a party of blazed teenagers, or something menial like that. But when he checked out the footage, he stopped dead in his tracks when he realised that this was no regular visitor. What the hell was that? It doesn't look to be the best quality, so we don't know what the figure actually could have been, but it looks to be a halfway mix between a humanoid and a stick figure. It seems to be looking around, investigating the area, being careful to stick to the trees. Maybe because it didn't want to be seen.
In October 2025, comedian and ghost hunter Noah Nathazin came into possession of a rather sinister object. Known to be possessed by truly evil spirits, this object was locked behind a glass case, never to be opened. But you can't just put a haunted object in your kitchen without facing some terrifying consequences, which Noah soon realised. Check out the footage he caught on his home surveillance cameras. Let's address the elephant in the room first. Obviously, this is not the original Annabelle doll. It is a replica of the one used in the Conjuring series adaptations, so there is not as much lore to dig into here, but the video itself is pretty spooky. The door of the glass case opens without anything moving to unlatch it. It just swings open, so it had to be unlocked already, meaning that whatever spirit could have latched onto the doll had already escaped into his house. And what was it that both him and his cat saw by the window? Cats are known to be sensitive to all things paranormal, so it must have seen something to unsettle it. What do you think happened here? Maybe creepy dolls should be left in museums rather than houses, right?
While eagerly awaiting the next batch of holiday pics from their friend's trip to Chile, this person was really hoping to soak in the vibe of the crisp clean air through the screen, but as they scrolled through the stunning landscapes and smiling faces, they suddenly stopped dead in their tracks and started shivering. Why? Because one of those photos had them reaching for spare pants instead of their suitcase. If you can't see it, don't worry. It's pretty hard to spot, so we'll guide you to it. Trail your eyes to the left side of the photo, and then down in between the heads of the two women. Now let's give it a little zoom and, yup, there you go. Nightmare fuel. Some commenters are convinced that the creepy face in the photo isn't just an illusion. It looks way too detailed for that. Some say it's gotta be a ghost, or maybe even something more sinister like a demon. Sure, there's skeptics out here saying it's just pareidolia, but let's be real here. When something looks this freaky, I think it's hard to chalk it up to just a camera trick, don't you think? The creepy thing, the family didn't even notice it until later. Whether it's just an optical illusion or a real spirit caught on camera, the fact is no one there had a clue who that person could even be.
You know that unsettling silence when the road ahead seems too quiet? That's exactly what this guy felt as he was driving down a lonely road one night. At first it was just him and the open road, until he spots something in the distance. It looks like a person, but as he gets closer, something's off. Really off.
Buddy! How you doing? Oh, just some cruisers, man. That's crazy shit. It's crawling at me like it's goddamn. What's up, dude?
This dude isn't just standing or even walking. He's crawling. And not in any way a person should. His limbs are twisted, bent in unnatural ways like it's got one clear goal: attack the person filming. And then, as he gets closer, we can hear it.
Just some cruisers, man.
A deep, guttural growl. It's like something pulled straight from your worst nightmare. He's got no choice but to act fast. You don't want to wait around to see what someone like that wants. Without hesitating, he slams on the gas, speeding away from whatever is coming for him.
YouTuber Witch Doctor has been haunted by an unholy presence ever since he moved into his new home. Now, in this new spot, peaceful nights are a rare thing. A typical night for him, voices screeching through the walls, objects mysteriously falling, and, on the worst nights, waking up with strange marks on his body. He's been posting videos of his experiences on his channel for a while now, following the advice and tips from his viewers, but nothing has worked so far. On this particular night, he tried a ritual suggested by someone in the comments, and little did he know, it was about to make his life even more of a nightmare. Here's a clip from that night.
Друзья, это просто какой-то кошмар. Твою мать. Господи, спаси меня, спаси, сохрани, Господи. Господи, пусть это прекратится.
Whatever he did during that ritual must have seriously pissed off the malevolent spirit. Shelves and other things in his kitchen started moving around like a scene straight out of a horror movie, right in front of his eyes. So, what went wrong? What could have triggered such a violent response? Well, it wasn't really about what went wrong with the ritual itself. It was all about who or what it was directed at. The ritual was supposed to banish ghosts or unsettled spirits, but the entity haunting his home was way more dangerous. Through a divination ritual, he later found out he was dealing with a powerful demon, Valak. Trying to play devil's advocate here, but we think he might accidentally insulted the demon by using a ritual meant for ghosts, and from that point on, things only got worse. Check out what happened the next day.
Сука. Сука. Твою мать, у меня кровь. Сука. Твою мать. Черт. Блять. Что это? Сука, это реально кровь. Хуйня. Блять. Твою мать. Сука. Умри, умри, умри. Думаю, надо валить из этой квартиры.
after the word die mysteriously appeared in the mirror just outside his bedroom, he woke up to someone or something trying to strangle him. This shook him so much that he knew he had to act fast before the demon killed him, or worse. So, what did he do? You'll never guess.
Если ты здесь, ты можешь дать мне знак. Выйди на контакт с помощью доски Уиджи. Начинается. Напиши свое имя. Кто ты? В. А. Л. О. К. Ты Валок? Да. Черт возьми. Это демон. Валок. Что это значит, Валок? Он передвинул планшетку на прощай.
Clever, isn't he? Do you think he'll ever get rid of this demon now that he's messing around with the Ouija board? Or is this the start of a charming relationship? Let us know your thoughts. While hiking deep into the woods, this guy decided to take a quick break under a tree, nothing out of the ordinary, until he notices something strange about the trees nearby. Curious, and maybe a little too brave, he pulls out his phone and starts recording. This is the clip of what unsettled him.
I mean, there's a little wind, but I mean, look at the rest of the tree. That's like a normal leaf blowing, right? Oh, those are kind of doing it too. Look at these. What is happening here? I mean, this may be lack of proper knowledge. Something. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
At first, it looks peaceful, but watch closely. The leaves on the trees are moving, waving, almost beckoning, even though there's barely any wind. How come only those leaves move, while the rest of the tree stays still? Viewers quickly flooded the comments. Some warned him that it could be a fae trap, a lure used by forest spirits to trick the curious. Others said it's probably just the way the branch is structured, and a few suggested the safest response was just to wave back. But as weird as that was, it was nothing compared to what the next person captured while wandering alone in the woods.
So I came back to the woods where I found the wavy bubbles a few weeks ago. I actually come back here a few times, but I didn't find anything. And I actually found something else, and it's super cool. Let me show you. So yeah, I blew this bubble like a minute ago, and it is still here. It's right here, right in this location. It hasn't moved. It's in this kind of suspended state. I am not a bubble expert, but I am pretty sure that this is not normal. So I'm like, I don't know, like a quarter mile away from the other bubbles. I'm really bad at measuring distance, but I'm not far. And so this does feel like it's part of the same glitch ecosystem.
Those bubbles seem to defy gravity, floating in ways that make zero sense. Has this guy stumbled into a glitch in the Matrix? Or is there something about these forests that science forgot to mention in class? What do you make of these encounters? What would you have done? Share your thoughts and theories with us. It's February 2017. The urban exploration crew Unknown Worlds is investigating a notoriously haunted industrial complex in Germany when something happens. Something that sends them sprinting for their lives in absolute terror. It all started when the crew found this lost place on Google Maps and went in completely blind. No clue about the dangers lurking inside. Down in the basement, things got weird. The air was thick with the foul smell of urine. Then, they saw something. That was the last moment of calm before all hell broke loose. Take a look at what was waiting for them in the darkness. As the crew moves down the corridor, watch the doorway on the right. A dude lunges from the darkness, knife in hand, directly at the lead investigator. We're seeing this through the camera of the man in the back as he turns and runs for his life. And as he flees, you can hear his friends call for help. Getting fainter and fainter until they're gone. Thankfully, he managed to get out of there, but what the crew would later discover is that the danger you can see is only half the story. Sometimes, the threat that you don't see is the one that will haunt you forever. On a completely different investigation, one of the explorers was filming alone in a foggy, abandoned German town in the middle of the night. He was completely oblivious to the fact he was being watched. It wasn't until weeks after, when a viewer left a comment, that he went back and found what was lurking in the darkness.
Links, rechts, Funkel, Funkel, Funkel und ich gehe weiter. So. Ich gucke sogar nochmal zurück. Einfach nur aus Paranoia, ob mir irgendwas folgt. War aber nicht so. Und dann bin ich schon halt weitergelaufen. Ich habe mich ja immer wieder regelmäßig umgedreht. Das hat mir auf jeden Fall nichts unmittelbar.
After a viewer spotted the eyes weeks later, the explorer went back and analysed the footage. His chilling conclusion? It wasn't a reflection. It was a predator, most likely a wolf, or worse, silently stalking him in the fog while he was hiding inside. He spent 5 minutes in that building, thinking he was alone, with no idea that something was waiting for him just outside the door. It makes you wonder, in a place like that, what else is watching from the darkness? Normally, you expect the light fixtures to be swinging, the doors to be slamming, and the chairs sliding all over the place to be associated with one hell of a party. But for the guy over at Devil's Gram on TikTok, it's just his regular life. Except he isn't holding Gatsby-like events in his home every week. Something sinister seems to be doing it for him.
Salam alaikum margaro dazu charta teliu makana au da derala matasu gore ha kurtarala mo kurera la babala walo ya Allah khair margaro zamana di video matlab da de kana چې تاسو ماته نمبر راځین کې کو څوک مولا له معلومي سب خو مولا له معلومي ماته نمبر راځین کې یو مولا سره مې رابطه وکړ تاسو نمبر راځین کړو او چې هغه مې راوستو هغه ډیر څه تو کتل کنه هغه وی بل څوک ولا راولا نو زه ول څوک راولا نه یار کو تاسو څوک معلومي نو ماته په کمنټس کې نمبر راولېږئ صحیح ده مرګرو زماره دی ویډیو دا مطلب دی چې زموږ د کور نه را پیریان لاړ شي یا الله خیر مرګرو روزانه زموږ د علی ګورې ها کمرې را راورانه کړې ده یا الله خیر یا الله خیر یا الله خیر یا الله خیر استغفر الله الله اکبر یا الله خیر یا الله خیر وګوره مرګرو ها یا الله خیر 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 وګوره مرګرو ها یا الله خیر استغفر الله الله اکبر.
After suspecting that whatever it was must have moved into the room at the end, he made another video checking it out specifically, only to be left running for his spare pants when his nightmares came true.
Salam alaikum margaro gore rana auras gore ha rana auras da gore ha humni da margaro rana auras da ha parana auras da aliha da gore ha La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
The activity soon spread throughout his entire home, causing the whole place to resemble some kind of abstract horror film.
Assalamu alaikum margaro da ba kitchen ki nasu makana au bare Allah gaste de khata su gore ya Allah khair astaghfirullah Allahu akbar ya Allah khair ya Allah khair ya Allah khair gore hamar garo ya Allah khair یا الله خیر تاسو ته مو وی زموږ د کور کې پیریان دي خدا واړه دي دا وسې د وګوره ښه پور سیر آباد کړئ ها یا الله خیر یا الله خیر یا الله خیر استغفر الله الله اکبر وګوره ها یا الله خیر یا الله خیر قل اعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس اله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس یا الله خیر سوګي رکا سوګي یا الله خیر یا الله خیر وګوره ها Ya Allah khair. So get a Ya Allah khair. Ya Allah khair. Astaghfirullah. Allahu Akbar. Ya Allah khair. So get a Ya Allah khair. Ya Allah khair.
How the hell is this happening? Unless he has an entire team of special effects workers behind the scenes, moving everything so aggressively seems impossible. The force causing all of this was so strong, in fact, that it broke some of his property.
مرګرو بس زموږ دا کور به هی پیریانو په قبضه کې اغستې لري ته کټو ګوره دا کټه بیګا باد کړی دی پوه شولې تاسو کو یقین درازي کنه دا حقیقت کمپلیټ چې تاسو یې دا کلیک کې تاسو ته زموږ د کور غونډي ویډیو کارو پته ولګي چې بده کور کې پیریا شته وګوره او تاسو غپ لګوي زه خو دې غپ ویډیو را کوم بل د لایک نه پالي صبر راګوي خو بازار غپ نه لګوي.
Do you have any ideas how this could be taking place? He could be making an amateur film, and these videos are publicity that he's pretending are real. But why do they feel so real? He sounds so genuinely scared, and why would he break his own stuff? A man is getting ready to play his Xbox on a Tuesday afternoon when he captures something on his phone that leaves him utterly terrified. He and his wife have recently moved into their new house and have been experiencing strange things, unexplainable noises, and a constant, uneasy feeling they could never prove. On this day, His wife is upstairs while he's settling in to play some games. While he sees the sudden, unnatural movement out of the corner of his eye. This time, he's fast enough to grab his phone. You won't believe what he managed to capture. Take a look.
Wait, say it again. Prove that you're here. Why do you keep turning off the TV? Ooh. Hey, hon. Come here. Look.
No, I can't deal with that.
I don't think it's just down here. Look at that. This is the most active during the day that I've seen. Oh, there goes the Xbox too. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm not liking this. Oh, wow. Wait. I swear I can see. Ooh, stop it. I'm not liking that. Hon, let's go to dinner or something for a while. Time to go.
According to the guy in the video, the spirit was turning off his television and consoles as almost a daily thing, but that the rocking chair and the ghostly figure approaching through the TV screen reflection was the strongest the activity had been up to that point. One thing paranormal buffs will tell you is that the reflections are a one-way portal into the spirit realm. This idea isn't new, it's a belief that goes back centuries. Ancient cultures view reflective surfaces like mirrors or pools of water with suspicion, believing they could trap a part of the soul or act as a doorway to another world. Victorian specialists took it a step further with a technique called scrying, using black mirrors to actively communicate with the dead. Modern investigators still use this theory, setting up cameras focused on reflections, believing these surfaces act like a screen where spirits can easily make themselves visible.
Ooh, stop it.
But what really happened here? Is he pulling the wool over our eyes? Or, as those Victorian spiritualists believed, did he accidentally record a glimpse of something crossing over through that reflective portal? It's a chilling thought. The next time you're in a dark room and your TV is off, you might not be the only one staring into the screen. What do you think was looking back at him from the other side? Let us know in the comments.
I'm not liking that. Hon?
Number 4. The Horrors of Pendle Hill. The team behind My Haunted Project set out on a mission to find the lost souls in the Pendle district. Pendle Hill in East Lancashire has an infamous reputation in the UK for being the home of a witch coven in the 17th century. They headed to what they suspected was the old location of the coven and set up their cameras in the old farmhouse to see if they could capture some of the lost souls on video, which is how they caught this.
The wardrobe just moved! Guys, the wardrobe just moved. The wardrobe's just moved in this room as we've left.
This wardrobe is a heavy, wooden affair, and according to the investigators, whenever they opened it, it would make a loud noise, hence the chair in front of the door. So how did it jolt open by itself? That isn't the creepiest thing they were able to catch while staying in the farmhouse though. One night while the group slept, they caught this on camera.
What the fuck was that? What was that? That was screaming.
The scream could well have been someone drunkenly passing by or an animal of sorts, but the group have said that after listening to it countless times, it sounds human. The area is decked out with CCTV cameras and nobody was caught on them. So what could the sound have been? Why is all of this happening in Pendle Hill anyway? According to old legends, in the hills surrounding area, it was said that many local people and cattle mysteriously and painfully took their last breaths when pagans Elizabeth Southerns and her granddaughter Elison Device moved to Malkin Tower farmland on the peak of Pendle Hill in 1612. Many believed the pair to be dangerously powerful, and rumours of witchcraft and devil worship began to spread as their coven expanded to include 8 other practicing pagans. After the locals and their cattle started dropping like flies after run-ins with the suspected witches, the entire coven was arrested and brought down and tried as witches in Lancaster. 10 of the 12 were found guilty and executed. 1 passed over during the trials and only 1 was found not guilty. The vengeful witches' spirits are said to still roam the landscape, with local people refusing to even speak about the trials for fear of who or what may hear them. Many believe that all of those accused were innocent, and they wreak havoc on the area in an attempt to get their revenge on those who accused and trialed them. Do you know anything else about the 12 witches of Pendle Hill? Let us know down below. This guy is extremely proud of his haunted doll collection, so whenever he got the chance, he would show them off on TikTok. But through doing this, his viewers were able to pick something absolutely petrifying out from the footage he shared. After he clocked this doll moving, he moved her into his room so he could keep a better eye on her, which was when he realised just how sinister she really was. But then his other dolls started moving as well. These videos picked up so much traction that the owner was actually invited onto a television program to tell his story, but as he did so, the wrath of his dolls followed him.
Tanya, buat apa tisu wong kamu tisu ada kata aku. Loh, siapa yang minta tisu? Enggak, aku enggak minta tisu gitu. Loh, tadi yang ke kamar minta tisu kamu kan? Enggak, aku di kamar di sini. Push. Apa tuh? Gerak bonekanya.
Enggak, aku di kamar di sini.
Now, this moment on the TV show is a proper showstopper, and the context is everything. As Harun is telling the host about the mischievous antics of one specific doll, Bella, a book suddenly topples over. And get this, the title of the book, Hilain Dalam Dekpan Sumeru, translates to Lost in the Embrace of Sumeru. It's a famous horror novel about hikers having terrifying paranormal encounters on the haunted Mount Sumeru. The irony is just delicious. But watch the doll's arm closely. You can see it move, seemingly pushing the book right off the table, and the timing is impeccable. This happens at the exact moment Harun is describing Bella's history of pranks. It's as if the spirit attached to her heard her name and decided to give a live demonstration. This takes it beyond a simple poltergeist bump. This is what paranormal investigators would classify as a targeted, intelligent interaction. Would you agree? Let us know.
Enggak, aku di kamar di sini.
While hosting a family gathering, this woman couldn't shake off an eerie feeling. She thought she was just freaking herself out, so she decided to record a video and try to get back into the swing of the party. At first, she noticed nothing but the booming laughter and flowing drinks. But when she watched the footage back, she realised that someone or something else was in attendance.
Palito con chocolate, queso, pan y mantecadita. Buen provecho para todos. Marta siente ahora. Usted le va a tomar la foto.
Now, you might be sat there screaming, it's just a kid running past the camera. And at first glance, that's absolutely what happened. But when you look a little closer and slow the footage down, the video becomes much more sinister. When the child's head is in shot, it's transparent, which could be a result of the video quality and the speed in which they were moving. But something about the way you can just see straight through sends a shiver down your spine. That's not even the weirdest thing though, because the kid doesn't just run in front of the camera. They appear to run straight through the counter you can see in the corner. Watching the rest of the woman's video, she pans the camera around to that area of the kitchen, showing that the table and chair setup is pressed up against the very counter we saw the kid run through. So there's no way a child could have come from there unless they were the size of a stick figure. And the creepiest thing of all, there were no children in the house during the party.
Usted le va a tomar la foto.
This woman was just trying to get on with her shift, and after getting back from some errands, the paperwork she had back at the office was calling her name. She already felt as though something was a little off, because the normally bustling shop and office environments were dead still, with nobody else to be seen, bar the cat. But regardless, she attempted to get on with her work, until all hell began to break loose. Take a look. She decided that she wasn't getting paid enough to deal with that, so stepped outside to call the manager and tell them about the issue, but they seemed to be in complete denial. Telling the woman that it was probably just rats. Unless rats have figured out the power of invisibility, that can't be right. After some back and forth, the woman seemed to make up her mind, go back inside the shop, get her stuff, and get herself the hell out of there. But nothing ever goes that smoothly, does it? Because this poltergeist decided it was time to really get her involved. The footage isn't quite clear enough to make out exactly what spooked her, but you can hear some sort of commotion and see an orb-like object flying towards her as she screams. The video cuts out after that, so we can only theorize about what happened to the woman. Was this a sloppy poltergeist attempt at possession? Did the woman even end up getting back out of the door? What do you think? Let us know in the comments.
Reddit user LostLin19, a security guard in a hotel known for its spooky rumours, shared the following scary video on r/ghosts. subtle but creepy, but let's analyze it from both the paranormal believer and skeptic perspectives. Let's start with a paranormal point of view. So she walks in, spots a ghostly figure near the door, and freaks out a little when the plant falls seemingly by itself. But her fight or flight response only kicks in when someone or something touches her hair. Pretty straightforward, right? Although there are a few elements to this clip making us lean more towards a skeptical point of view. First, when she looks up, it looks like she nods her head as if she's giving someone a signal, perhaps to pull a string on that plant. Then, the shadow fades in and out, which not only looks like CGI, but it's also something incredibly easy to do using editing software, just like this shadow weirdo here, and this one here. But wait, there's more. You know how her hair looks like it's being blown from behind, perhaps by a leaf blower? Well, how could that be possible? Surely we would hear it, the sound of the leaf blower, right? It turns out they removed the audio on that part, but couldn't remove it all. You can hear a bit here. So, mystery solved. Let us know your thoughts on this one.
If nothing else convinces you to chuck that Ouija board down the drain, this scary video probably will. Back when he was a child, Brandon Castonin was laying in bed during a Halloween party his parents held. Obviously, the night wasn't complete without some drunken communication with the spirits, so the adults decided to conduct a Ouija session late at night. There was one problem though, they never closed the session. To close it, you need to move the planchetta to say goodbye, but it was cast aside instead while the party continued. Since that night, Brandon's father believes he opened a portal for something to latch onto him, but it looks like he wasn't the only one caught up in the mess. Brandon moved into his own house decades later, finally ready to live a life without fear. But it seems like something followed him. After multiple attempts to catch the activity on camera, he managed to record this.
¡Ay, cabrón! No manches. ¿Qué era eso? No. Ay, no manches. No. Ay, no mames, no mames.
Bet you missed it, didn't you? Look closely at the bottom right corner of the screen. Someone or something is hiding behind the wall. But when he goes to investigate, there's nobody there and nowhere for anyone to hide. The ghastly white complexion and what looks like long black hair is enough to send anyone running for their spare brown pants. Do you think his father's drunken mistake followed him into his new home? Or is this a clever bit of acting and editing? Let us know what you think in the comments.
The camera reveals what had other drivers so spooked that many online believe represents 666. Some took this as a clear sign of demonic possession. But how do you explain the figure seemingly phasing through obstacles? Also, did you spot how weirdly it moved across the deck?